हेलो। हेलो, all of you join. बाबू सिद्धू, सिद्धू। हेलो, सिद्धू ఎవరమ్మా? हेलो, तरुण कुमार, तरुण कुमार। हेलो, बाबू सिद्धू ఎవరు? సిద్ధు, సిద్ధు. All of you join. Oh, so far only 19 students joined. What about other students? All of you join fast. Okay, yesterday we are discussing about temperature distribution, heat transfer coefficient in a tube flow, and we arrived equations for heat transfer coefficient. And before that, we have discussed how the hydrodynamic boundary layer is formed, how to find out shear stress in a tube flow, and what is the shear stress value tau is equal to minus dou p by dou x into small r by 2. At what point in a tube flow, at what point the shear stress is maximum? At the wall of the pipe. At the center, shear stress is 0. Similarly, velocity distribution, we have found out the equation for velocity distribution and formation of that velocity curve, that is parabolic in nature, and velocity is maximum at the center of the pipe, whereas velocity is 0 at the wall of the pipe, and that has been discussed in the earlier class. And yesterday we discussed how the thermal boundary layer is formed. Thermal boundary layer thickness delta T, and at what point both the thermal boundary thickness coincides, that is at the center of the pipe, then the thermal boundary layer thickness will be maximum. And once the at thermal boundary layer equal to boundary layer, thermal boundary thickness equal to radius of the pipe, then the flow is fully stabilized. Then in the stabilized, that is known as thermally stabilized region, fully developed flow, thermally as well as hydrodynamically. And yesterday we discussed how the thermal boundary is formed, what is the temperature distribution equation, and what is bulk temperature, and bulk temperature, forced convection heat transfer in a tube flow. So whenever the velocity, it is known as forced convection heat transfer only. And finally, we have read equation for heat transfer coefficient for constant heat flux condition as well as constant wall temperature. So yesterday we completed up to that point, thermal boundary, how the thermal boundary is formed, what is thermal boundary thickness, and what is temperature distribution, what is the equation for temperature distribution, and what is bulk temperature or mixing cup temperature, and and how do you find out the how to find out the equation for heat transfer coefficient? Generally, in a tube flow, there are two conditions. One is constant heat flux condition, otherwise constant temperature, constant wall temperature conditions. For constant heat flux, I given Nusselt number is equal to hd by k. Nusselt number, some constant value 4 point some 64 something. Okay, I'll repeat now again. And that way, we will do some problems on this. So, on this tube flow, by taking the help of the equations, Nusselt number for a constant heat flux condition, that is Nu is equal to 4.64. But how do you calculate Nusselt number? hd by k. So hd by k. And also for constant wall temperature, again the constant value will be changed. That is hd by Nusselt number is equal to hd by k is equal to from 3.66, like that. So by using the concepts that are discussed, that is velocity distribution, velocity boundary layer formation, and thermal boundary layer, and thermal uh, boundary layer thickness delta t, and by using the help of the thermal boundary layer thickness equation, like that, today we'll solve some problems on this internal flows. Internal flows. So all of you join fast. Only 32 students joined. What about other students? So those who are present in the class, give a message to other students through WhatsApp so that other students also join the class. Only 34 students joined. What about other students? Okay, na? Now, so read the problem. We'll discuss some problems today. Atmospheric air flows inside a heated, thin-walled, 25 mm diameter tube with a velocity of 0.5 meters per second. Flow through pipe in a tube. So heat, force heat transfer, convection heat transfer in a tube. Here the working substance air. Heating can be done either by condensing steam on the outer surface of the tube, thus maintaining a uniform surface temperature. So if steam is condensed on the surface of the tube, you can maintain uniform surface temperature. That is constant wall temperature. One condition. Other conditions are by electrical resistance heating, by using electrical heater, thus maintaining uniform surface heat flux. Heat flux, that is heat transfer rate per unit area. Heat transfer per unit area is known as heat flux. So if you want to maintain a constant or uniform surface heat flux on the surface of the tube, you can use electrical resistance heater, or by electrical resistance heating you can maintain uniform heat flux. Two conditions. First condition, uniform surface temperature or constant, maintaining constant wall temperature. And second condition, maintaining constant heat flux on the surface of the tube. So for this, what you have to do, what you have to calculate the heat transfer coefficient for both of these heating conditions. For one condition, constant wall temperature, one condition. Second condition, both of them is two conditions here. First condition, constant wall temperature. Second condition, constant heat flux. Okay, now for this you have to calculate, for both the conditions, you have to calculate heat transfer coefficient H. Assuming properties of air at 77 degrees centigrade. So that is given in the problem. But if he gives the air temperature and if he gives the surface temperature, you have to take the properties at the mean temperature. You have to calculate the average of those two temperatures, and generally, so after getting the values for the air properties at 77 degrees centigrade, and kinematic viscosity nu 20.76 in 10 power minus 6 meters square per second, and thermal kinetic K 0.03 watt per meter Kelvin, and the flow is hydrodynamically and thermally developed. So flow is hydrodynamically as well as thermally developed flow, fully developed flow, both hydrodynamically as well as thermally. So this is the given problem. Okay. So in diameter of the tube 25 mm, velocity of the air 0.5 meters per second, and steam is condensing. So for this, how do we calculate this heat transfer coefficient? Yesterday given for constant heat flux, Nusselt's number is equal to 4.364. So HD by K is equal to Nusselt's number is equal to HD by K is equal to 4.364. From this, you can carry H value. Heat transfer coefficient for constant heat flux, Nusselt's number is equal to 4.364. Yesterday given this. And second, for a constant wall temperature, Nusselt's number is equal to 3.66. By using this formula, you can calculate heat transfer coefficient. First, you have to verify. So these are applicable for laminar flow. That's why you have to verify whether the flow is laminar or not. So in a pipe flow, first calculate Reynolds number, RED, Reynolds number for a given diameter D. Reynolds number, how do you calculate Reynolds number for a tube flow or any flow? Velocity, density into velocity into a rho into velocity into diameter divided by dynamic viscosity. But you can replace mu by rho. Mu, here mu, if you take rho at the bottom, that is mu by rho. That is kinematic viscosity. That's why you can calculate Reynolds number by using the formula for a tube. Reynolds number for a given diameter D is equal to velocity into diameter by kinematic viscosity. Velocity into diameter by kinematic viscosity. That is equal to velocity of the air given as 0.5. Diameter of the tube given as 0.025 divided by kinematic from the tables, properties of air given in the here. This is given in the problems, or otherwise you have to take from the tables. So kinematic viscosity 20.76 in 10 power minus 6. And if you substitute all the values in this Reynolds number, then if you simplify this one, if you calculate Reynolds number will be coming as a value of 602. So now for a tube flow, already flow through pipes in the fluid mechanics, we have studied flow through pipes. In the flow through pipes, for any pipe, the Reynolds number is a critical Reynolds number. So the flow is laminar, transition, or turbulent. How do you find out? When the flow is, or otherwise, when the Reynolds number in a tube flow, when the Reynolds number is less than 2000, that is a laminar flow. And if the Reynolds number is in between 2000 to 4000, that is transition flow. If the Reynolds number is greater than 4000, that is turbulent flow. All of you listen very carefully. If Reynolds number is less than 2000 in a tube flow, that is 2000 is the critical Reynolds number. But in the case of flow on a flat plate, that is 5 lakhs, 5 into 10 power 5. But in this case, in a tube flow, critical Reynolds number 2000. If the Reynolds number value is less than 2000, that is the flow is under laminar conditions. That's why If you calculate the Reynolds number for this case, the Reynolds number will be coming as 602. Hence, you can know that the flow is laminar. So because Reynolds number is less than 2000, 602, 600, around 600, that is less than 2000. So in the hydrodynamic and thermally developed flow, how do you calculate constant heat flux? Okay, so once this equation, that is Nusselt's number is equal to 4.364 for constant heat flux, that can be applicable only for laminar flow only. That's why you have to verify whether the flow is laminar or not. For that, you have to calculate Reynolds number. So after calculation of Reynolds number, after verification that the flow is laminar, in the hydrodynamically thermally developed flow, fully developed flow, for constant heat flux, in the hydrodynamic and thermally developed flow, for constant heat flux, how do you maintain constant heat flux? In this case, by electrical heating. Okay, second I am taking constant heat flux, uniform surface heat flux by maintaining electrical heating. That's why for constant heat flux by electrical heating, you can maintain constant heat flux by electrical heating. This one, by electrical heating, you can maintain constant heat flux. So for constant heat flux, how do you calculate heat transfer coefficient H? H is the heat transfer coefficient. For that, yesterday I given Nusselt's number value for constant heat flux 4.364. But how do you find out Nusselt's number in the pipe flow? HD by K. Nusselt's number in a pipe flow, how do you calculate HD by K? For a flat plate, HL by K. For pipe flow, HD by K, where H is the heat transfer coefficient, D is the diameter of the pipe, K is the thermal conductivity of the fluid. So from this relation, HD by K is equal to 4.364. Therefore, H is equal to 4.364 into K divided by D. Divided by D. So heat transfer coefficient H for constant heat flux, that is equal to 4.364 into K divided by D, where K is the thermal conductivity of the fluid, D is the diameter of the pipe. So that is equal to 4.364 into what is the K value here? K 0.03. 0.03 divided by D, diameter of the pipe. What is the diameter of the pipe? 25 mm. That is 0.025 meters. All units should be converted into SI units. That's why you have to you should not substitute as mm value here. You have to use the meter only. That's why 0.025 meters diameter. So if you calculate this one, heat transfer coefficient for constant heat flux condition 5.24 watt per meter square Kelvin. Heat transfer coefficient H for this constant heat flux condition 5.24 watt per meter square Kelvin. And similarly, same, but the condition is you have to maintain constant wall temperature. If you maintain constant wall temperature by condensing steam on the surface of the tube, you can maintain constant wall temperature. Or otherwise, for constant wall temperature, so you have to condense the steam on the surface of the tube. Then only you will maintain that tube surface with a constant temperature. That constant temperature is a constant wall temperature. So after maintaining the constant wall temperature, for that condition, for constant wall temperature condition, how do you calculate heat transfer coefficient H? Again, Nusselt's number to be taken. Yesterday given Nusselt's number value 3.66 for constant wall temperature condition. In this forced heat transfer convection in a tube flow or pipe flow, Nusselt's number for constant wall temperature condition can be calculated by in the formula 3.66. So Nusselt's number will be around 3.66. But how do you calculate Nusselt's number? Theoretically or basically HD by K for any pipe or tube, HD by K. But remember, but for flat plate, HL by K. So the D becomes L in the case of flat plate. In the case of pipe or tube, so castic length here is diameter of the tube. That's why Nusselt number h into d by k, Nusselt number hd by k, that is equal to 3.66. From this, you can calculate heat transfer coefficient. H is heat transfer coefficient. D is the diameter of the pipe. K is thermal conductivity of the fluid that is flowing through the tube. Here air. That's why K is the thermal conductivity of the fluid, given fluid. D is the diameter of the tube or pipe. H is the convective heat transfer coefficient. So from this relation, you can calculate the heat transfer coefficient H. Therefore, H is equal to 3.66 into K divided by D, where K is the thermal conductivity of the fluid, D is the diameter of the pipe. That is equal to 3.66 into 0.03 divided by 0.025. Only constant value changes, that's all. Then after using this formula, you will be getting the heat transfer coefficient H value as 4.39 watt per meter square Kelvin. So very easy. Solving our problems under this convection heat transfer is very easy, but to some extent concepts are difficult and derivations are difficult. So if you practice, if you study thoroughly concepts and practice the derivations, solving our problems under heat transfer is very easy, and it is also scoring subject. Okay, na? Now that's about the first problem. Next, second problem. Water at 20 degrees centigrade flowing at the rate of 0.015 kg per second enters a 25 mm diameter tube, which is maintained at a temperature of, that is outside surface temperature 90 degrees centigrade. Assuming hydrodynamically and thermally fully developed flow, determine the heat transfer coefficient and the tube length required to heat the water to 70 degrees centigrade. To heat the water to 70 degrees centigrade. Properties of water at 45 degrees centigrade. Here water at the entry, temperature at the entry 20 degrees. After heating, water temperature becomes 70 degrees. What is the average value? 70 plus 20 divided 90 divided by 2, 45. So that's why you have to take the fluid properties of this fluid at mean temperature. So properties of water at 45 degrees centigrade. You have to take, that is density of the water at 45 degrees centigrade, 992 kg per meter cube. And Cp is equal to specific heat 4180 joule per kg Kelvin. Thermal conductivity K is equal to 0.638 watt per meter Kelvin. And kinematic viscosity is equal to 0.613 into 10 power minus 6 meter square per second. And the average Nusselt number for the tube NUD, Nusselt number for tube of diameter D, 3.657. Here given in this problem. Otherwise, you have to take the 3.66 value, because he has given the surface is maintained at temperature of 90 degrees, a constant wall temperature. That's why for constant wall temperature, Nusselt number could be, if he gives, you can take this value in the problem. Or otherwise, if not mentioned, you directly take the Nusselt number value 3.66. But in this problem is given. So here water is flowing through the tube, and initial temperature of water 20 degrees centigrade. It is you are heating the water because you are maintaining the temperature of the tube on the top surface 90 degrees centigrade. This is higher temperature. That's why heat transfer from higher temperature to lower temperature. That's why the temperature of the water increases from 20 degrees centigrade to 70 degrees centigrade. Okay, now, so here the given data, water, initial temperature 20 degrees, final temperature 70 degrees centigrade. Water is flowing at the rate of mass flow rate of the water 0.015 kg per second. Mass flow rate of water 0.015 kg per second. Enters a 25 mm diameter tube. So diameter of the tube 25 mm, and the tube is maintained. The tube is maintained at a constant temperature of 90 degrees centigrade. So wall temperature, constant wall temperature 90 degrees centigrade. And assuming the flow is fully developed, both hydrodynamically as well as thermally. What you have to calculate? You have to calculate the heat transfer coefficient H for this condition. And you have to calculate the tube length. What is the length of the tube? What is the length of the tube? You have to calculate. So for this, you have required some properties of water. But at what temperature you have to take the properties of water? At the mean temperature of water. Water entry temperature 20 degrees centigrade. Water exit temperature 70 degrees centigrade. So 20 plus 70, 90. Average of these two, 45 degrees centigrade. So you have to take the properties of water at the mean temperature and the average temperature 45 degrees centigrade. So these are the values given at density 992 kg per meter cube. Specific heat at constant pressure, Cp per constant pressure. Specific heat at constant pressure, that is equal to 4180 joule per kg Kelvin. Thermal conductivity of the fluid or water 0.638 watt per meter Kelvin. And kinematic viscosity nu 0.613 into 10 power minus 6 meter square per second. The average Nusselt number for the tube is equal to 3.657. So draw a rough sketch. This is the length, for example, through the length of the pipe L, water enters at a 20 degrees centigrade, water, and leaves from the tube at a, and water temperature is from 20 degrees centigrade to 70 degrees centigrade. So water temperature increases. At the same time, on the surface of the tube, we are maintaining constant wall temperature, TW. What is TW? Constant wall temperature. You are maintaining a temperature 90 degrees centigrade, 90 degrees centigrade, here 90 degrees centigrade, here 90 degrees centigrade. Constant wall temperature, constant temperature. So at the inlet of the tube is the outlet of the tube. At the inlet, water enters at 20 degrees centigrade, but tube surface temperature 90 degrees centigrade. So temperature difference, theta 1 temperature difference at the inlet. So you will come across these type of problems in the heat exchangers also. This is also heat exchanger. So just follow the procedure given. So theta 1 for the time being, follow the procedure given. At the entrance of the tube, what is temperature difference? Surface temperature 90 degrees. So heat is transferred from 90 degrees to 20 degrees. So temperature difference, theta 1, 90 minus 20, 70 degrees centigrade. At the exit or at the outlet of the tube, so surface temperature 90 degrees, anyhow constant temperature, and water temperature 70 degrees. What is the theta 2 temperature difference at the outlet? Theta 2 is the temperature difference at the outlet. But how do you calculate temperature difference? 90 minus 70 at the outlet, that is 20 degrees centigrade. That's why here initial temperature of water 20 degrees, final temperature of water 70 degrees, wall temperature 90 degrees, mass flow rate m dot 0.015 kg per second, diameter of the pipe 0.025 meters. Nusselt number 3. For the given diameter D 3.657. But how do you calculate Nusselt number? HD by K. So from this you can calculate heat transfer coefficient H. First bit, what do you have to calculate? Calculate the heat transfer coefficient. So from this relation, Nusselt number is equal to 3.657 is equal to, but how do you calculate Nusselt number? HD by K. HD by K is equal to 3.657. From this, you can calculate H. Therefore, first bit, heat transfer coefficient H is equal to 3.657 into K divided by D. That is equal to 3.657 into K. Thermal conductivity of the water 6.38 given here. 0.638 divided by diameter of the pipe 0.025 meters. From this, the heat transfer, therefore H is equal to heat transfer coefficient 93.33 watt per meter square Kelvin. Okay na? Now, so from the, but how do you calculate length of the pipe? Length of the pipe. This is a tube, a diameter D and length L. But how do you find the length of the pipe? From the, so in the, through convection of the water, so heat transfer Q HA delta T. How do you calculate convection heat transfer? Because in the tube water is flowing. Water is flowing inside the tube, that is convection currents are developed, convection heat transfer. But with the help of the convection heat transfer rate Q, you can calculate length of the pipe. But how do you calculate? Q is equal to H, convection heat transfer, Q is equal to H into area into delta T LMTD, log mean temperature difference. So in the case of heat exchangers, you have to take the log mean temperature difference. Log mean temperature difference, delta T mean. But how do you calculate the log mean temp? LMTD, very, very important. All of you listen carefully. LMTD, log mean temperature difference is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by Ln, natural logarithm. Ln, natural logarithm, theta 1 by theta 2. Here theta 1, 70 degrees centigrade. Theta 2, 20 degrees centigrade. So from this log mean temperature difference, what is LMTD? Log mean temperature difference, that is equal to theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by Ln theta 1 by theta 2. That is equal to 70 minus 20 divided by Ln 70 by 20. If you simplify this one, that will be coming at 39.9 degrees centigrade or 40 degrees centigrade. 39.9 degrees centigrade or 40 degrees centigrade, around 40 degrees. Okay na? But heat transfer, convection heat transfer, how do you get HA delta T mean? That's why H 93.33 area. But how do you calculate area? Inside surface area of the pipe. 2 pi r L or pi d into L. Pi into diameter of the pipe into length of the pipe L. That is inside surface area for a cylinder. That is for a inside surface area of the tube. Inside surface area or surface area of the tube. How do you calculate? Circumference into length of the tube. Pi d L in pi d into L into log mean temperature 39.9 degrees. So here H given, H calculated 93.33. You have L, you have supposed to calculate. D given. So D given as 0.025. L into 39.33. And but into 39.9 degrees centigrade. But heat transfer rate Q not given. But how do you calculate heat transfer rate? Because you are heating the water. That heat what? That is the that much of heat is through the convection. So is equal to convection heat transfer. That's why. But how do you calculate heat transfer for the water? By using this equation M into specific into delta T. If you take the water here, water temperature increases from 20 degrees to 70 degrees. That's why heat transfer from the physics, how do you calculate MC delta T? Mass into specific into delta T. So for that, for water, if you take the water here, mass flow rate M 0.015. Specific heat of the water given as 4180. 4180 into temperature, higher temperature 70 degrees centigrade of water, lower temperature 20 degrees centigrade. So water heat transfer from heat is being given to the water, so that temperature increases from 20 degrees to 70 degrees. 20 degrees to 70 degrees. So that is the what is heat transfer rate? M into C into delta T. From this you can calculate Q value 0.015 into 4180 into 70 minus 20. If you calculate this one, the heat transfer rate value 3135 watts. 3135 watts. You substitute that value here. Q is equal to HA delta T mean, log mean temperature difference. So that's why 3135 is equal to H value 93.33 into area pi dl, pi into d diameter 0.025 into length of the tube. That is to find out. Second bit, L into delta T or log mean temperature difference 39.9. So From this relation, 31.35 is equal to this is 93.33 into pi into 0.025 into L into 39.9. So from this relation, you can calculate L value. L is equal to 10.72 meters. L is equal to 10.72 meters. Okay, na? Like that. Problems are very easy. Following the same analysis, we'll do one more problem. All of you listen carefully. Lubricating oil at a temperature of 60 degrees centigrade enters 1 centimeter diameter tube, 1 centimeter diameter tube with a velocity of 3 meters per second. The tube surface is maintained at 40 degrees centigrade. So constant wall temperature is also constant wall temperature is 40 degrees centigrade. So because 40 degrees is less than 60, that's why you take the bottom instead of top. You take at the bottom, because in the earlier problem here we are taken at the top because 90 is greater than this 70 as well as 20. That's why you taken top. But in this problem you have to take the 40. Here 40 is less than 60 degrees centigrade as well as 45 degrees centigrade. That's why you draw the horizontal line bottom to this oil line. Okay, na? So surface is maintained at 40 degrees centigrade. Assuming the oil has the following average properties, calculate the tube length required to cool the oil to 45 degrees centigrade. Oil is initially at 60 degrees centigrade. You have to cool the oil from 60 degrees centigrade to 45 degrees centigrade. So for that you have to calculate the length of the tube. Tube length. What is the tube length? L. What is L is what? Here, so the tube wall is maintained at constant temperature 40 degrees centigrade. This one. And oil initial temperature 60 degrees centigrade. It is cooling. Oil is being cooled from 60 degrees centigrade to 45 degrees centigrade. So temperature drop. But you are maintaining the tube surface temperature 40 degrees centigrade. So 40 constant temperature. Okay, na? Now, here water diameter by 1 centimeter, velocity 3 meters per second, constant wall time 40 degrees centigrade, and at properties from the average properties given. Density 865 kg per meter cube. Thermal conductivity of the oil 0.14 watt per meter Kelvin. Specific heat of the oil 1.78 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Assume the flow to be laminar and fully developed. Assume the flow is laminar and fully developed, because here also constant wall temperature. The condition is Nusselt number, average Nusselt number, Nu bar or Nusselt number is equal to 3.657. Initial temperature of the oil 60 degrees. Outer temperature of the oil 45 degrees. Diameter of the tube 0.01 meters. Velocity of the oil 3 meters per second. Surface temperature of all temperature 40 degrees centigrade. This one 40 degrees centigrade. And density 865 kg per meter cube oil. Thermal conductivity 0.14 watt per meter Kelvin. And specific heat of the oil 1.78 kilojoules. All of you listen carefully. These are in kilojoules. You have to convert into joules. 1.79 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. So as that of oil is cooled from 60 degrees to 45 degrees. So oil, temperature drop. And your surface of the tube is being maintained at 40 degrees centigrade. So theta 1, here 60, here 40. Theta 1, 60 minus 40, 20 degrees. And theta 2, 45 minus 40. 45 minus 40, that is 5 degrees centigrade. But how do you find out the length of the tube? For that, you require H value as well as that Q value. So first calculate heat transfer. But here mass flow rate not given. You have to calculate. Heat transfer rate Q is equal to mass flow rate into Cp into. So initial temperature minus final temperature for the oil. Oil is being cooled from 60 to 45. What is the heat transfer for that case? Mass flow rate into Cp into specific heat into temperature change, temperature difference. But mass flow rate not given. How do you calculate? Density into area of the flow into velocity. Area into velocity, volume. You multiply the density, then you will get the mass flow rate. So density of the fluid, area of flow into velocity of the fluid, into Cp into temperature, initial temperature of the oil minus outlet temperature of the oil. Rho into flow area. Flow area means water, oil is flowing inside the pipeline. So cross sectional area of the pipe, pi by 4 d square into U. So rho into AF, flow area, F for flow, area, flow area, pi by 4 d square into U, that is fluid velocity, oil velocity into Cp into Ti minus TO, because here we are calculating heat transfer for the fluid of oil only. But we are not taking surface area and flow area only to be taken here. That is very, very important. Mass flow rate. If are into velocity, then you will get the, but here surface area, convection heat transfer. So here density of the oil 865 into area pi by 4 d square 0.01 square into velocity 3 meters 3 into Cp 1.78 kilojoules. That convert joules 1.7 into 1000. 1.78 into 1000 into oil is cooled from 60 to 45. That's why 60 minus 45. Then you will be getting 5,441.7 watts. That much of heat he is having the oil. That is also again convection heat. That is so. How do you calculate length of the tube? By using this formula, Q is equal to H bar or HA into LMTD. A to pi d into L. A pi d L. That L is to be calculated. For that, first you have to calculate log mean temperature difference. Log mean temperature difference. That is theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by ln theta 1 by theta 2. So here theta 1 20, theta 2 5. So 20 minus 5 divided by ln, natural logarithm 20 by 5. That is equal to 10.82 degrees centigrade. And after that you calculate Nusselt number Hd by K is equal to 3.657. For constant wall temperature, Nusselt number is equal to 3.657. Nu is Hd by K or Nu bar is equal to H bar by H bar into D by K. From this, H bar is equal to 3.657 into K into thermal conductivity K divided by D, diameter of the pipe. That is equal to 3.657 into thermal conductivity K 0.14. Here, thermal conductivity K 0.14 given, divided by diameter of the pipe 0.01. From this, heat transfer coefficient 51.2. After calculation, you will be getting heat transfer coefficient 51.2 watt per meter square Kelvin. So we are having the convection heat transfer rate equation. Q is equal to HA delta T, that is LMTD, log mean temperature difference. So, but Q, you require Q here. Already you have calculated Q from this relation. So therefore, 5,441.7 is equal to H bar 51.2 into pi dl into LMTD 10.52. Pi dl into 10.82, 10.82 log mean temperature difference. That's equal to 51.2 into pi into D, diameter of the pipe 0.01 into L, length of the tube or length of the pipe. That is to be calculated into 10.82. So from this, therefore, L is equal to this divided by 5,441.7 divided by 51.2 by pi divided by 0.01 divided by 10.82. That is equal to, so 312.7 meters. What is the length that coming from this calculation? Because all are in SI units. That's the length of the tube is 312.7 meters. 312.7 meters. Like that, you can do any number of problems on this. And again, one more small problem. We'll discuss within completed 2 or 3 minutes. for water, heating water from 20 to 60 degrees. You are heating from 20 to 60. An electrically heated tube resulting in a constant heat flux 10 kilowatt per meter square is proposed. Here constant heat flux. The mass flow rate is such that Reynolds number 2000, because Reynolds number up to 2000 there is laminar flow only. That's why you need not calculate Reynolds number here. Or otherwise, okay, by knowing this value, it is laminar flow. And consequently the flow must remain laminar. The tube inside diameter is 25 mm. The flow is fully developed. Determine the length of the tube. Same analysis. Here also, for constant heat flux condition, the constant value 4.364. So Nu bar is equal to H bar D divided by K is equal to 4.364. From the H bar is equal to 4.364 into K by D. So from this, you can get the H bar value 111.36928. But how do you calculate length of the tube by using this formula? Q is equal to H bar into pi dl into delta T. So here, but Q is required. But how do you calculate Q? Q is equal to M into Cp into temperature difference. M value, but not given. That is to be calculated. But how do you calculate M value? But Reynolds number given. Rho into velocity into diameter by mu is equal to 2000. From this, so you can calculate density. So how do we calculate mass flow rate? That is density mass by volume. That's why mass by volume. How do you calculate mass? So density is equal to mass by volume. From that, mass is equal to density into volume. The mass is equal to density into volume. That's why M into, so from this, mass flow rate is equal to density is equal to mass, where mass is equal to density into density is mass by volume. From that, mass is equal to density into volume. From that relation, so density into volume, velocity into, if you replace this one, velocity into area. So this is density mass into volume, volume area into velocity, that mass into diameter divided by mu, that so you can divide with 5/4 d square, that is equal to 2000. From this relation, so you can get the mass flow rate. Therefore mass flow rate is equal to 2000 into mu into this d mu into pi into d divided by 4. This 4, if you take this outside here, the right hand side 4. From this you can get the mass flow rate. Mass flow rate will be coming at a value of 0.0238 kg per second. For this you have to take the Reynolds number value, 2000 given, Reynolds number 2000 given by rho into velocity and diameter mu. That is 2000. You convert rho in terms of mass, and from this relation, mass relation, you can calculate mass flow rate. That will be coming at 0.0238 kg per second. So how do you calculate transfer rate? Q is equal to M into Cp into delta T. For here, what is here? Water. Temperature increases from 20 to 60. So that's why M into 0.0238 into specific heat 4108 for water into 60 minus 20, 40. That is heat transfer rate with 3983 watts. That's why Q is equal to H bar pi dl into delta T. Here Q value 3983 is equal to H bar 311.36 into pi into diameter of the pipe 0.025 into length of the pipe into delta T LMTD. For this, so here for a constant heat flux value, you have to contain the find the constant temperature, and from that you'll getting the delta T mean value, lag mean temperature value that you calculate, that will be coming around 20. And if you substitute 20, and you can calculate length of the tube L from this relation, and it will be around L is equal to 22.85 meters. Okay, na? Like that, problems are very easy. Only thing is, you have to know the basic concept and you have to know the derivations. And after derivations, deriving the equations, knowing the concepts in a clear-cut manner, problems are very, very easy in the convection heat transfer. Okay, so that's all for today. With this, I am closing this internal flows. Now we have to go to the third topic, that is free convection on a vertical plate in the next class. So that's all for today. Any doubt? Any doubt?